Hello and welcome to another episode of the Magic Kings podcast with the great big beautiful dads. We're here again tonight with Magic Mike. What's up?
We're back, Steve. We're back again.
We are back. Unbelievable. Keep coming back.
Keep coming back. Yeah, it's a surprise every time. I don't know.
We can't get rid of us. We're good. Yeah. And I'm Steve, travel agent with Just Said Magic Travel. I feel like in half the episodes I forget to even mention that. That's why I need you here, Mike, to
right.
do all my plugs. I'll say that up top. But we have a really, I think, interesting topic for tonight's episode. We're going to get into park hopping, something that a lot of people have questions about, especially first-timers, those who haven't been to Disney World in a long time. So we got some do's and don'ts, but I need to mention that we have a new review on Apple Podcasts that just caught my eye so much, and I just wanted to shout this person out. I don't know who it is, so it is from SCFECCGHG. I don't know how to pronounce this. So shout out to you.
It sounds about right. Do it with the French accent.
Escargot. Okay. So this review, I mean, this is like the nicest thing anyone's ever said about us, about me. I'm just like, it says super. So the title is Awesome Show. All right, we're off to a good start. Super entertaining listen. Couple of down to earth guys. Well, I mean, we're down to earth guys, right?
For sure.
With genuine passion for Disney World. That part is true.
That is true.
And then I consider myself well-versed, but even I have learned some new tricks. So thank you so much. And for everyone out there, like, these give us life, right, Mike? I mean,
that's right.
Please leave rating. You know, if you listen on Apple Podcasts, leave a rating. 5 stars. Got to be 5 stars. If you're not going to leave 5 stars, don't do it. But 5 stars, leave a rating and leave a review. You know, we'll read it on the podcast and shout you out. If you listen on Spotify, you can leave comments on each episode, which we've gotten a couple of those over the several months we've been doing this. So that's been great. But love to see some more of those as well. And just always reach out, Steve at justsaidmagictravel.com with anything, questions, ideas, anything you want. We are so happy to hear from anybody from around the world. So I just wanted to read that out to you, Mike. How does that make you feel?
It's great. I mean, I'm glad people think we're down to earth. I sometimes I'm not too sure about that one, but it sounds like we've got some outside validation, so that's a good thing.
That's right. No, it's good to hear. It's good to hear that other people think we're just a couple of normal guys. I think sometimes I need that validation.
Yeah.
So
bring your back down.
Exactly. So I appreciate that. So yes, thanks everyone who listens. But anyone, leave and I think it just helps to get the podcast out to other people. So recommend it to friends and leave reviews and whatever else. But
yes,
and we're so close to your trip, Mike. I can't believe it. We are like.
I know.
It's mere weeks away.
It's to the point where I've already started packing a little bit, right? Like I've got the shirts lined up. I got everything, got the matching shirts for the family. Got my Beverly Boys shirt, my Yorkshire County fish. We're ready to go, Steve.
I love it. And you showed me those matching shirts you got where they're matching, but everyone gets their own character, right?
Yes. If you go on Etsy, there's some like super creative people and like very reasonably priced t-shirts. So we found some like cool ones where each person got their own customized shirt with their name and their own character. So you could choose from any of the characters, really.
I love it. And who's your character on your shirt?
I went with Tigger.
Oh, I love it.
I was going to go Figment, but another member of the family chose Figment. So, I was like, you know what? Tigger was my guy growing up. So I went back to the classic.
Someone else chose Figment?
Yeah.
Wow. You guys are big Figment people.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. Grandma Magic Mike, or what? Not Big Magic Mike. I don't know. We got to come up with a name.
Magic Mom,
Magic Mom, yeah.
No, she's a classic Epcot fan. I love it. That's amazing.
Yeah, she's a big Epcot fan. So they had everything from like one of my, obviously I've talked about before, my son who loves Chewbacca. He got a Chewbacca shirt. And my little guy, he picked Mater from Cars.
Oh, nice.
Which was out of left field. I was expecting him to go like Pooh Bear or something like that, and he went with Mater.
I love it.
Yeah,
that's a great pick. God, I feel like I'm going to. Maybe I will. Okay, we'll see.
Well, you know my theory, Steve. Let's just say I'll be looking for you at the Beverly counter at Club Cool.
Yeah, some theories do prove to be correct. So we'll see. So as part of your trip, here comes a segue. As part of your trip, you are going to be doing, as we discussed in our conclave, at least a little bit of park hopping.
That's right. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we got the park hopper tickets. And, I'm a big fan of having the option to be able to do that, especially, if we're doing 5 park days, right? So, it gives you the option to bounce around and check out some different stuff. Maybe not every day, but at least having the option to do it is good. And then even with like mixed generations, like maybe the grandparents watch the younger kids and the adults, not the grand adults, but the adults go out and grab a drink over at Epcot, maybe a little fish and chip platter.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, so we're definitely gonna be doing some park hopping, and yeah, this is gonna be a good episode to get some do's and don'ts out there, and even some clarifications. I mean, even on the last one when we were doing Conclave Part 2, I had a clarification question on park hopper that I just wasn't sure on. So we're gonna get it all out there tonight, Steve.
I love it. There was a time with COVID, which, that was about 6 years ago, right about now. So much changed then, obviously. And then in the, time since COVID, so much has changed in them and Disney coming back, over several years. And park hopping was one of those things. It was much more complicated after COVID. There were restrictions about this and that, when you could do it and everything. And as we discussed last week, now it is the Wild West. Unless you're an annual pass holder, there's some, exceptions on certain days. But if you're just going there for vacation, regular park hopper tickets, you can kind of do whatever you want, which is great. But we wanted to just talk about, because something I hear from people all the time, they're like, we want to do, Disney in a day or two. Like, we'll get the park hopper and we'll just hit all 4 parks in that day. And, there's just kind of a misconception, I think, of just the scale of Disney and what a theme, each theme park is, and just how to do park hopping. And so I think it's a topic that, especially first timers, but even people who, like you, who've been all the time, but maybe not for a year or more, have questions about. So we got some do's and don'ts. So Mike, do you want to kick us off with a do or a don't with park hopping?
Yeah. So, and you just kind of touched on it, right? You've got to plan your time with park hopping, right? You can't go into it thinking you're going to get to everything on both parks that you do. And so the biggest do is, set up your time properly, right? So for me, it was always like my second park is like evening, maybe dinner, and then hit a couple rides and maybe some fireworks. And you don't have to do it that way. You could do a half and half day, but if you do a half and half day, you're not necessarily going to get everything at both parks, right? It's really tough to do 2 parks in one day unless you're like, getting the Premier Lightning Lane where you've got no weights on every ride. Maybe you could pull it off there, but I would say don't go into it thinking you're going to hit everything on both parks that you do, and think about how you want to split your day, whether it's a half and half or an evening. I like to do the kind of like, park hop to dinner and then hit some rides before fireworks. That's kind of our usual trick that we like to do.
Absolutely. No, you said it perfectly. And, there are people, I think back to also Steve and Ashley, when they talked about their trip in August, on their last park day, it was probably their 7th or 8th park day of the trip, they did all 4 parks in one day just to do it. And they know what they're doing, obviously. Right. It wasn't like they were trying to get it all in. I think they said they did 1 ride, that whole day.
Yep.
And that's the kind of thing that if you're doing that, don't expect to do a lot in each park. and really like you said, have a purpose. Oh, we're going to dinner at this park or things like that. And I think along with that, another thing I would say is a do for park hopping is do budget enough time for park hopping. So now there are buses between each of the parks. So you can take a bus, and this wasn't the case when we were kids, I don't think, although listeners, if that's not right, correct me, leave it in the comments. But I don't believe you could take a bus from, Epcot to Animal Kingdom. But now you can. And then there's obviously the monorail and, as you know, Mike, the Skyliner.
That's right.
Epcot and Hollywood Studios. But even with those things, and I can kind of let you talk about the strategies for, how to think about that. But if you're planning to park hop, just remember, wherever you are in the park, you have to exit the park, right? You have to walk out. You have to go to the bus or whatever transportation. You have to then go through security at the other park, and walk to wherever you're going. Even if you're going Skyliner, right? And you're even close to the Skyliner, the least amount of time it's going to take to get to your next thing would be like, a half hour, and more like an hour if you're doing a park hopping. So, yeah.
Yeah, so that's like, you definitely want to think about your transportation options when you're thinking about what parks you want to hop to, right? So, I think the easiest hop is between Epcot and Hollywood Studios with Skyliner, and even then, like you said, there is still, there's travel time, there's security, there's gates, but the good thing about Hollywood Studios Epcot connection there is that you get to utilize the International Gateway at Epcot.
Yes.
If you're doing that park hop. So the International Gateway is at the back of the park between the United Kingdom Pavilion and the France Pavilion. And there is a little pathway exit out the back to take you to Skyliner. You could also access Beach Club, Yacht Club, Boardwalk. You can get on the boats there. So there's actually two transportation options from there to Hollywood Studios.
True.
And vice versa, right? So there's a boat pathway, which takes a little bit longer, but maybe you're not in a rush and that's a good option for you. Or Skyliner. In Skyliner, you still have to kind of go around. It's like a trip around by Riviera, you have to get off at the station next to Caribbean Beach Resort and transfer. But that to me is like the easiest one. Magic Kingdom to Epcot's actually pretty straightforward too because of the monorail. So yeah, do plan based on your transportation. If you're going to do it too, like Magic Kingdom from Animal Kingdom, like you definitely need to understand that you're going to be on the bus for a little bit, right? Like, so there's only one option to get to Animal Kingdom. You got to go from Animal Kingdom on the bus to whatever park you're going to. But yeah, like that inter-park bus is definitely a huge win for park hopping.
Absolutely. And the other thing to note is like Hollywood Studios, Epcot right next to each other. Epcot and Magic Kingdom connected by the monorail, not far from each other. Animal Kingdom is the one that's the farthest from all of them. Just if you look at a map, that is the case. So you might be on that bus for 20, 25 minutes. You might be waiting for 10 minutes, right, for the bus once you get out to the bus stop at Animal Kingdom. So just thinking through those things, don't have a dining reservation in 15 minutes, at another park,
right,
and think you're going to make it because you're not. So
yeah. And speaking of Animal Kingdom, one of the do's that I have with park hopping, if you're going to take advantage of park hopping while you're doing Animal Kingdom, start with Animal Kingdom early in the day, right? Because you're going to want to take advantage of all the park hours that it's open. And Animal Kingdom typically closes a little bit sooner than the other parks, right? So you're not going to want to go from Epcot to Animal Kingdom. You want to do it the other way around, right? So, and you would have to take the bus, but the Animal Kingdom has a ton of buses. It's easy to get out of, and it closes a little bit earlier than the other parks. So you definitely want to start at Animal Kingdom and go to whatever other park you're going to go to. That's also a segue, Steve, into what we talked about on the last episode is deluxe hours or extended hours. Plan around that, especially with your Animal Kingdom day. If you can line up your Animal Kingdom day with a deluxe hour day at Magic Kingdom or Epcot or whatever it is, or extended hours, then you can really maximize a full day and get, a full day at Animal Kingdom and then still have enough time to do a lot of stuff at one of those other parks with extended hours.
Absolutely. It's such a good tip. Just for those who may not know, I know we've talked about it before, but deluxe hours are if you're staying at a deluxe resort at Disney World, Beach Club would be an example. There are many examples. There are certain nights where a park will be open just for deluxe resort guests for a few extra hours. So that's a fantastic tip. And I think another do with park hopping, again related to budgeting time, it's the same thing but just more generally, is look at the park hours. The park hours change every day. Now generally Epcot and Hollywood Studios almost every day, I think almost always 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Animal Kingdom is usually 8 o'clock, and then it varies by the season. Sometimes it's 6, 7, sometimes it's even 8, but almost always open at 8 o'clock. And then Magic Kingdom opens at 9 almost always, sometimes 8, but it stays open till sometimes 9, sometimes 10, sometimes 11 on just a regular park day, not even deluxe hours. So even if you're not in a deluxe resort, if you're looking at Animal Kingdom, you got energy, you want to go to another park, Magic Kingdom might be open until 11. So you could have almost like a whole other park day just at Magic Kingdom on that day if if you're up for that, which I would be, but
And that's also another tip on my do's list is if you can pull it off, try to park hop closer to your hotel.
Yeah.
So if you're staying at a Magic Kingdom hotel, if you're staying at Polynesian or Contemporary or Floridian, any of the ones in that area, park hop to Magic Kingdom, and then you've got a short trip back to your hotel room at the end of the night. If you're in the Epcot Resort area, Boardwalk Beach Club, Caribbean Beach, Pop Century, Art of Animation, park hop to Epcot, park hop to Hollywood Studios, and then you've got a short trip back to your hotel at the end of the night when you're exhausted and the kids are tired. So that's one of my recommendations is go towards your hotel if you can.
Yeah, and near your hotel is a great tip. Just thinking through that. Going home on the Skyliner or the monorail or walking.
Yeah.
That was one of my do's is if you're at an Epcot resort, get the park hopper because you will find yourself running into Epcot at 8 o'clock just because you can, right? But ending the night at the park that's closest to you is a fantastic tip to just park hopping can take it out of you just to keep it a little, more reasonable. So
yeah.
I love
and
that.
as we've established, Steve, I consider the fish and chips at Yorkshire County Fish as a snack. It could also be a great dessert. So at the end of the night, on your way out through the International Gateway, grab a little platter to go. Nothing wrong with that. No judgment here. Snack, dessert, whatever you want to do. Yorkshire County Fish. It's a great option.
We got some pushback when you call it a snack. I think now. I'm with you though. Hey, it's Disney World. Everything goes.
That's right. Anything goes.
So that's a lot of do's for park hopping. Yes. I wanted to throw out there a don't. If you have park hopper tickets, you can't pick and choose which day you purchase the park hopper upgrade for. So don't think that, I only want to park hop on one of my 5 days. I'm just going to purchase one day of park hoppers. Now you literally could do that. It just would end up costing you way more because park tickets, the per day price of park tickets goes down dramatically as you buy more days. Like the price per day of a 1 day ticket with park hopper could be over $250, but the price per day of a 5 day could be something like, $150 or less, right? Or something like that. It'll be a lot less. So there's no way to game it really. And so some people hesitate without it. Just think, isn't there a way around this? If I'm only park hopping 1 or 2 days, can't I just do that? And it doesn't make sense, and Disney won't. And you can't say, some people in my package are getting park hoppers, some aren't. That's kind of just, it doesn't work like that. It won't let you do that. So if you have questions about that, always you can work with me and get in touch, and we can go through that. And the other thing is, if you don't get it park hopper as part of your package, but then you're at Disney World and say it's your last day and you want to park hop and you're like, we want to add park hopper, they will add the park hopper to every day of your tickets, even though all the rest of your days have already gone. It's like, it's our 5th day, we're adding it now. Well, you're going to get 5 days of park hoppers. That's just how it works. So don't think you're going to get, out of paying for the park hoppers. So that's just something to keep in mind.
And like you said, Steve, and like we kind of started with, give yourself the option. I think it's worth it to have it, especially, if you're in the bubble, you're using the transportation, take full advantage of the time that you're there. Try to take advantage of the transportation. Try to take advantage of where you're staying on the resort properties. I think it's worth it.
I think it's almost always worth it. I mean, we can talk about scenarios where it might not be worth it, and everyone is different, you know. But generally speaking, when I'm working with clients, they're getting park hoppers for exactly the reason you just said. You know, it just makes sense in that way, even though it is an upgrade. So, do you want to hit us with a don't, Mike?
Yeah, this is my biggest don't. And I have done this, so I know from experience on this don't. Don't park hop to Magic Kingdom right before the fireworks show. So, look at the schedule of the fireworks show, Happily Ever After. Give yourself a good buffer, because you are not going to be the only one trying to get over there for the fireworks show. I have been on the ferry boat because the monorail line was around the corner, so we ran to the boat, took the boat across the Seven Seas Lagoon, just barely made it, got in, and then as soon as we got to the front of Main Street, it was wall to wall, right? So like even if you get there in time and fight the transportation battle with everybody else that's doing the same thing, there's no way you're getting up Main Street. And if you try to kind of like wait it out and watch the show from the back, which you can get a great vantage point even up at the front of the park, looking down Main Street. It's amazing. It's still really cool. But if you're trying to get in there and do any rides after that, or try to sneak in a couple rides or shows or whatever right after the fireworks show, forget about it. Everybody is rushing down Main Street trying to get out the park. All the people with little kids. You're not going anywhere. You're just going to be at a complete standstill. So give yourself enough time. If you're trying to go to Magic Kingdom, don't do it at fireworks time. Go before. It's great to go there for the fireworks and get, like, even if you're not going to watch the fireworks show, get there early, get behind the castle, and start hitting rides as soon as the people start flooding Main Street to watch the show, because there's going to be 15-minute rides for some of the best rides in the park. You're going to 15-minute lines. You're going to be able to get on, basically anything you want at that time. So if you're going to do park hop to Magic Kingdom, give yourself a buffer before the fireworks show.
That's a fantastic tip, because that is so true. It is so crazy getting into the park at that time. It's very hard. Another don't, we talked about this on a previous episode with lightning lanes. Don't plan on pre-booking multi-pass lightning lanes at more than one park, because people are like, oh, I'm park hopping this day. And in some ways it would be nice if Disney let you do this. You have a park hopper, why can't I just book multi-pass selections, pre-book at 2 different parks or 3 different parks if I want, for all 3, whatever? You can't. You have to choose lightning lane multi-pass for one park, and then you choose all 3 of your selections for that park. As we've discussed, as soon as you scan into your first one, you can actually modify the other ones if you really want to, or you can just, your next lightning lane, you can start booking lightning lanes at the other parks if you have a park hopper. So I think people, again, if they're not working with me or whatever, they think about that. Oh, we're doing Epcot and Hollywood Studios, so we have Tower of Terror and Test Track. Perfect. No, it doesn't work like that, unfortunately.
But all the more reason to call the Lightning Lane legend himself, Steve at Just That Magic Travel, folks. As you may have heard in our Lightning Lane conclave recently, Steve's got all the insider knowledge. He's going to be able to tell you exactly what the do's and don'ts are, how to manage your time. You want to be working with somebody in your corner like Steve at Just That Magic Travel.
Oh my God. Unbelievable. Fantastic plug there. Thank you. So, all right. Do you want to hit? So we prepped a little bit for this episode, more than we have for other episodes. I know it's probably shocking for people that we don't do a ton of prep. I only do some, but we have a little Google Doc here where we put in our ideas. Is it time now to get to the one? And actually, I see what you said. It's going to be controversial. One of my don'ts was don't drive to Magic Kingdom on a park hopping day. And then I said, or ever. Because you have to, as I've said on every episode of this podcast, you have to take the monorail from the Ticket and Transportation Center to Magic Kingdom versus the other 3 parks where if you drive there, you park at the park. It can be a long walk, but you take the parking lot tram or whatever. And so Magic Kingdom, just especially on a park hopping day, if you're starting at Magic Kingdom, my point with this was just you're going to have to end your night getting back, not just to Magic Kingdom, but on the monorail or the boat back to the Ticket and Transportation Center. But you had a goofball with this one.
I took offense to this one, Steve, because as you know, I have, as a Florida resident for a little bit of time here, many a times have I driven to Magic Kingdom and park hopped to what I would say is don't do that unless you're park hopping to Epcot. And I'll tell you why. So, as you know, Steve, the Ticket and Transportation Center, there's two options to get to Magic Kingdom, right? You can take the ferry boat across the Seven Seas Lagoon, or you could do the monorail to Magic Kingdom. Now, that takes you right to the front gate of Magic Kingdom. Now, you're right in front. You have your great day at Magic Kingdom. If you're going to park hop, when you've driven to Magic Kingdom and parked at the Ticket and Transportation Center, I would say only do Epcot. And the reason why is because you can get onto an Epcot monorail from the front of Magic Kingdom, go to Epcot, enjoy your time, get your platter of fish and chips, hit all the shows, the fireworks, whatever you want to do. And then the monorail has a stop at the Ticket and Transportation Center. So you don't have to kind of like go back to the front of Magic Kingdom, get off there, take the boat. You can actually go from Epcot right back to the Magic Kingdom Ticket and Transportation Center. So that is my goofball to kind of refute your don't drive and park hop forth. So a little bit of controversy here on the do's and don'ts, because I have done this and it works out great. So I would say don't do it unless you're planning to only park hop to Epcot.
All right, I'm digging in here. I have my rebuttal.
Okay.
Just kidding. That was a very 100% agree.
I thought you were going to come back at me.
No, it's a really good point that I hadn't actually fully thought through. That you don't have to get off at Magic Kingdom if you're coming from Epcot. You can just get right to your car at Ticket and Transportation Center. So no, that is definitely a very good point.
And there's a little Joffrey's coffee right there at the Ticket and Transportation Center. You can get a little iced coffee, nightcap, whatever you want to do, to wash down your fish and chips that you slug down on the monorail, and then then you call it a night.
Absolutely. Now, you talking about when you're a Florida resident, you drove obviously, which makes sense. Do you guys you don't rent a car when you go to Disney? Like now that you're not in state anymore.
Yeah, right? Definitely not, because we're in the bubble, as you know, right? And there's not really any reason to, right? Like nowadays, maybe 10 years ago there was, but nowadays, even if you wanted to get to Target, in Celebration, or you want to go down the, road and get some stuff, you don't have to do that. You can just get it, Instacart it to your hotel, the Bell Services, and you want a case of water, you want some pack of apples or whatever it is for your room snack, you could just get that stuff delivered. So there's absolutely no reason to rent a car. Why are you going to rent a car, coming from out of state, when it's just going to sit in the resort parking lot? You're going to use the bus, you're going to use the monorail, you're going to use the Skyliner, you're going to be on the boat. Yeah, no,
it makes sense. I mean, I hate renting cars just generally. I think it's always, I will say the Alamo, I've done the Alamo at MCO, and that is one of the more seamless experiences I've had with car rentals just generally. But I agree. I don't like renting cars. I love that at Disney you don't have to. If you're going around to other places, if you're going to Universal, some people want to just drive there, have the car available. I would say either you can actually book transfers between the two, and I can actually help with that, but you can also Uber or whatever, Some people just like to rent the car. And we don't ever talk about that. And if you're not like me, if you don't mind renting a car, you actually like just having the car, you just want it. There are some resorts, I know Old Key West is like this, I believe, where it's you can kind of park right next to your room in a lot of cases. And it's much faster to just jump in the car. If you are staying at Disney in a Disney resort, then you don't have to pay for parking. And so jumping in the car at Old Key West and going to Epcot is going to be faster than taking the bus. And so some people just, they drive to the park no matter what. Again, if you need help thinking through that, I can help with that. What I would say is, the one exception to that, it's that extra step, is Magic Kingdom, just because you have to take, you don't park right there. But so I don't know. I just got into my head. I don't think we've ever talked about renting a car, but some people like it.
And that's a great point that you just brought up. And I'm just so spoiled by being a part of the Skyliner squad and always booking a resort, like always staying at Caribbean Beach or one of the other like Skyliner resorts where I'd like never even considered, hey, maybe there's not a like easy transportation option from the resort. Exactly. So I guess that's a flaw in my thinking, but that's what you get being part of the Skyliner squad.
Once you're in the squad, you just block out everything else.
It'll change your life. You'll never go back. Yeah, you'll never go back.
Just all squad all the time. Yeah. I see you have one on here. I have like maybe an intro to that, which is or is at least think about it, is if you're going with toddlers and younger, like your oldest kids you're going with are let's say 4 and under, that would be a time to think about not getting park hopper. Mm-hmm. Because I think those days, the park days you're going to have with kids that age are going to be shorter. Yeah. And when 5 o'clock rolls around, you might be done. So I would say, again, everyone is different, but that's one where, that's one case that, okay, maybe it's not super needed. So
yeah. Yeah, and I put that on here too, is like don't push the exhausted kiddos into a park hopper, extended park hopper. And you're just begging for a big time meltdown, right? Like you've probably been in that situation too, when they're just exhausted and you're pushing them and you're like, come on, we can do a little bit more. Like remember you're an adult and it's like they have 3 steps to every one of your steps.
Right.
They're 3 times more exhausted than you are. Right. So yeah, definitely think about that. And that's when I would, if you're dead set on doing a park hopper in that scenario, do the half and half day type of thing, right? Yeah. And call it early, call it a night, right? Like you don't have to do a late night. You could do something where you split the day in half, right? So yeah, definitely don't push the kids more than that they can handle, because you're begging for a meltdown mid park, and that's no fun.
No, it's not. You see, and I mean, every parent who's been to Disney World with any kid of any age has crossed the line where the kid is now miserable, right? I mean, it's just inevitable. You're there. You want to make the most of it. Some kids will get a second win, but you see it. You always see it at like when you're waiting for fireworks. Yeah. And it's like little Scotty is like asleep. Head in hands. It's like, oh, buddy. Like we're almost there.
Yeah. To build on that is like the summer. We had talked about summertime Disney trips. Yeah. This is when you really don't want to push it, because the sun is going to exhaust them too. Like I've been at that, point where I think I shared this picture with my little guy. I was with him at Magic Kingdom and I had him on my shoulders and we were going to watch the parade. And this was at 12:30 or 1 o'clock. And like I took a selfie while he was on my shoulders, and he was asleep on my hat on top of my head, and his cheeks were bright red. And I was like, oh, I should probably take him back to take a nap. Like maybe the heat has gotten to him. He was just out, exhausted. So definitely don't push it on those hot days either.
I mean, it's just so exciting to be at Disney World. It's just so hard. It's like, really, we're gonna like take the time to go back. And I mean, in August, it was 7 months ago that we were in Magic Kingdom for the regular park day and the Halloween party. We were in Magic Kingdom for like 15 straight hours.
Yeah.
In August. Like, and I have to say, Fran was a trooper. She made it through. She was fine. But I mean, inarguably, we pushed it too hard that day, right? So it is what it is. But that's, just that's a general tip. But I think especially with park hopping, don't just try to cram everything in like that. To me, that's not what park hopping is for. Unless you kind of have to. It's like we're here for 1 or 2 days and we just have a bunch of must-dos we got to get done, and that's how we're approaching it. Okay, but if you're just the type of like, okay, we're going to be more efficient because we're going to get more done because of park hoppers, I don't approach it that way is what I would say. Approach it more like you said in the beginning, Mike. Have a plan. We're going to be eating in this park. We're going to be taking it easy. Maybe we're even going to take a break between the parks, right? Go back to hotel, swim, chill, and then, go out at night. That is, to me, the best use of park hopper for sure.
Absolutely. And, as what we're doing is, bring the grandparents, bring the babysitters along. They don't want to be out late either, right? So you get the old folks back at the hotel, get the adjoining room. Talk to your travel agent, Steve. He'll put in the request for the adjoining room. You get the grandparents on one side, kind of poke their head in and make sure the kids are sleeping, and the adults can go. Maybe the adults and the older kids can go do a little park hopper trip.
It is the best. Shout out to grandparents. We've done that once, and we got a nice, Epcot Hollywood, nights out of it.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing better. I mean, I don't want to say nothing. Going with your kids is probably the best, but it's so nice to, just the adults. It's so nice. Yeah. So,
and my situation is I've got my twins are older and they would be able to handle a late night.
Yep.
My little kids are not going to be able to do it, right? So be open to splitting up too, right? Like it's not that big of a deal if you want to, split. Have one. Have if you don't have the grandparents, have mom go with the older kids. Well, dad stays back. Grabs his fish and chip platter on the way home. Takes care of business while the little ones go to sleep.
I like how you now can't even mention Epcot without saying fish and chips. Like you're like lasers on that. It's like you didn't make a beeline.
You can tell my trip is coming up really fast here because the closer we get to the trip, the more fish and chip references we're gonna get on the Magic Kings podcast.
You're just gonna see there's gonna be a story of a guy with binoculars at Beach Club, looking at Yorkshire County. What's the line? One other thing I just wanted to say is there's always going to be hiccups, and I think park hopping, there's always going to be hiccups with that too. And one thing I want to say, this goes along with the summer, but it can happen any time of year, is that the Skyliner and actually the boats, but especially the Skyliner, if there's lightning, often it will stop running. And so if that's kind of your plan between Epcot and Hollywood Studios, just keep that in mind. If there's weather, you're about to use the Skyliner to park hop, you have a time sensitive thing, you might have to hoof it back to the front to get a bus, to the other park in that case. So that's one example, but just with hiccups at Disney World, any time you go to Disney World, ride closures, kids needing stuff, right? Messing with the plan, best laid plans that you had. And it happens on a non-park hopping day. Park hopping just adds another layer to that. So, yeah.
Yeah. Don't put too much pressure on yourself. I think we say that a lot. It's like, not everything's going to go to plan, right? Like, you got to be able to roll with the punches at Disney World. Don't get too stressed out. You're going to have a great time no matter what. If you got to, call it a night early, or maybe you don't get to the second park on your first night or whatever it is, you're still going to have a great time. You could figure out something else to do at the resort or at the park you're at. Yeah, don't put too much pressure on it. That's a big don't.
100%. No, absolutely. All right. Any more big time do's and don'ts or any other tips? Any goofballs?
I think I got all my goofballs out there and my little tips for park hopping.
I have one just fun little goofball here, because what we're talking about is taking it easy, blah, blah, blah. But let's say your plan is to hit all 4 parks in one day. Okay. And not only that, but you want to do something in each of the parks. We don't have to say what it is. It's not going to be every ride, but just you want to do a couple of rides, and it's like they're kind of must-dos. Like you want to get this done. You want to bang it out.
Ooh. Yeah,
okay?
Yeah.
So this is the scenario, okay? So my question is, what order do you go in? How do you tackle it?
Ooh, wow. Okay, let me think about this for a second.
Rubbing his hands together. And I'll say, I think there is a correct answer because I thought about this before, but I'm putting you on the spot, so.
Okay, I've got my number 1, and then I just need to think about how I go from there.
Okay.
You're starting the day at Animal Kingdom. Earliest open time. If you rope drop, you can definitely get on, one of the big rides, right? Whether it's Everest, whether it's Flight of Passage, whether it's Safari. Maybe not Safari, because Safari you have a little bit of a delay, but you could run for it and get on Flight of Passage. Okay, so number 2, I'm going. Oh, this is what I'm doing. I've figured it out, Steve. I've cracked the code. Number 2 is Magic Kingdom.
Oh,
I'm going to Magic. Yeah, I'm gonna tell you why. I'm going to Magic Kingdom number 2. I'm going to scope out whatever is like short lines and maybe stick to one side or the other. I'm not going to try to do zigzag. I'm not going to try to hit everything at Magic Kingdom. And then from Magic Kingdom, I'm going monorail to Epcot.
Oh, yep.
And then I'm doing whatever I can possibly get my hands on Epcot. And I'm going Skyliner to Hollywood Studios. And I'm ending my night with Fantasmic at Hollywood Studios.
So that's fantastic. That was not the correct answer I had in mind. but
it's
you sold me on Fantasmic. Yeah, right. It's the new correct answer. That's a great. That sounds like a great day. You know, it's So yeah, I think there's no question you got to start at Animal Kingdom.
Yeah,
all right.
Yeah.
But
I want to hear your order.
And there's one key to why I actually think I would do mine over yours, even though ending at Fantasmic, because Fantasmic often goes after the park closes. Yeah. So it's kind of genius. It's kind of genius to do that. But okay, starting in Animal Kingdom, we got to do it. Next, I'm going to Hollywood Studios.
Okay.
So anywhere from Animal Kingdom, you got to take the bus. So it kind of doesn't matter, you know, that it's right. All about what's after that.
Yep.
So Hollywood Studios, then I'm going to Epcot, Skyliner, and then Magic Kingdom. Ending at Magic Kingdom. And the reason I'm ending at Magic Kingdom is, as we said before, it is almost always the park that closes the latest. So you may miss fireworks, you know, if you get there but if it's open till 11 especially, it's like that last couple hours, you're going to get everything done. Not everything. You're going to get, you know, you're going to be able to run through stuff at Magic Kingdom. So that would be how I would tackle it.
Yeah, that's a great order as well. I think, I think I'm going to go with my option, Steve, because I think you're going to get stuck in that Main Street crowd when you're trying to get over there. Maybe we could test that. Maybe when you join us on my trip, we can test out the theory. We'll both go our own way. See who has the better day.
I'm in. How many steps would that day be? Oh my God. Man. I mean, just listening to Steve and Ashley talk about theirs, where they weren't doing it, like I said, they did one ride. They were just kind of chilling. I'm like, even that sounds like a grind, you know?
Yeah, it's a lot. Sign off in the comments or send us a message on how you would do your 4-park 1-day strategy.
Absolutely.
And maybe we could have a little informal social media poll on who do you think has the better option here between Steve at Just That Magic Travel or Magic Mike. So let's hear what you have to say.
Right.
Put this out on the social media, Steve. I won't see it, but I know my buddy Fish and Chips fan will be voting for my.
Yes, he's right. You know that. It's 100%. I can't even get through it anymore, Steve. Slam dunk. It's a slam dunk for old Fish and Chips fan.
Slam dunk. He's definitely gonna vote for me.
I will say, if Magic Kingdom closes at 9 and Hollywood's closes at 9, yours is the winner. I will admit, because Fantasmic could be the 9:30 show after the park's closed. So, you know, that's a big if though. So, you know, no, we're putting it out there. Fish and Chips fans going to weigh in, and we're going to see. And that's it. Anything to take us out, Mike, on park hopping?
No, I'm just, fired up. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to try some of these do's and don'ts.
And, the movie Hoppers in theaters this Friday or whatever.
Great plug.
Look at that plug. Josh, take note.
Let's go.
Getting stuff out there.
I know you got a big marketing budget on Hoppers, Josh. Come on. Wet the beak a little bit. Yeah,
That's right.